Mega Man games are the reason I fell in love with gaming. Capcom hasn't given us a new entry in a long time, and luckily, other developers have stepped up. I found some incredible games that take the classic style and make it more fun. Here are 10 games that I think do the job even better than the original series. Gravity Circuit 2023. If you're like me and your favorite part of Mega Man X was the dashing and wall kicking, Gravity Circuit is going to feel like a revelation. It's a 2D action platformer that swaps the iconic Buster for something else, your fists. We play as Kai, a war hero, who moves with a lot of snap. Dashing? Check. Double jumps? Check. And there's even a grappling hook that we use to pull ourselves towards enemies or snatch objects out of the air. When you defeat enemies, you get a new weapon along with gaining bursts, which are special techniques fueled by a meter. You can customize Kai with booster chips that alter his abilities and allow you to change the playstyle the way you want it to be changed. And let me warn you, your fingers are going to hurt after playing. It's a pattern-based logic game but requires much faster reflexes. In Mega Man you often find a weapon you never use, but here, every ability feels integrated into your movement. Azure Striker Gunvolt 2014. Azure Striker Gunvolt takes the run-and-gun concept and turns it into a tag and zap, stylish, fast, and yet surprisingly deep. As Gunvolt, you're trying to look cool doing everything. You have a dart pistol that does very little damage on its own. Instead, the darts kind of tag the enemies. Once tagged, you activate your electrical aura that shocks everything you've hit. As you progress, you unlock new types of darts and offensive skills, and the scoring system rewards you for staying in the air and avoiding damage. I'll admit, the first time I maintained a 1000 plus streak, I felt more like a gaming god. The bosses are humans with superpowers and the fights feel more like anime battles than simple pattern recognition. If you ask me to compare the art style, then I would say it has a cyberpunk flair to it. Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX 2019. This is a spin-off from the Azure Striker series, focusing on Copen, Gunvolt's rival. If Gunvolt is about precision, Copen is about momentum. Copen's primary movement is that he slams into an enemy to lock onto them, and then he hovers in the air while raining down homing lasers. He rarely ever touches the ground. It's some of the most crazy movements I've ever experienced in a 2D game. Honestly, it makes Mega Man X feel like he's walking through sticky sludge. Copen mimics the classic Mega Man formula more closely than Gunvolt does by stealing weapons from defeated bosses. Each boss you take down gives you a new sub-weapon that has a shared energy bar. Mega Man fans who love the boss weapon system but want a character that moves like a jet fighter will find this to be the ultimate evolution of the genre. 30XX 2023. If you ever wondered what Mega Man X would look like as a modern roguelike, 30XX is your answer. It's the sequel to 20XX and it improves on its predecessor in every way. We can choose between two characters, Nina and Ace. The movement is pixel perfect, though the levels are where this game shines. Instead of just getting weapon per boss, you find Augs throughout the level that drastically change your abilities. You can fuse boss weapons together to create entirely new attacks. Needless to say, the variety is just amazing. I've had runs where I was a tanky brawler and others where I was a sniper. Because it's a roguelike, the difficulty scales as you go. Believe me when I say 30XX has infinite replayability. In a standard Mega Man game, once you know the level, the challenge is gone. In 30XX, you never know what's around the corner. XX 2017. The predecessor to 30XX, this game proved that the mega roguelike concept could actually work. While it lacks some of the visual neatness of its sequel, 30XX, the gameplay is still rock solid. Since the game supports local and online co-op, the bosses are designed to handle two players at once. You'll have some great Saturday nights playing this with a friend. 20XX encourages speedrunning by giving you better rewards if you clear stages quickly. It feels very similar to Mega Man X with a heavy emphasis on dashing. Like 30XX, you collect bolts and soul chips to buy permanent upgrades between runs. Did I mention that you can swap body parts for upgrades? Yes, you can. Yeah, well, it feels very much like Mega Man, but because it has co-op, I'll prefer this over any Mega Man game any day. Berserk Boy 2024. Berserk Boy is a high-energy kind of game. The game is built around the Berserk forms. Each form, lightning, fire, earth, air, and ice, changes your movement set. The lightning form allows you to dash through enemies to tag them, similar to Gunvolt, while the earth form lets you drill through walls. A colorful game, I must add, and of course you add new forms by defeating bosses. I would say it feels much more like a combo-driven action game than a traditional platformer. In Mega Man, changing weapons often requires pausing the game. In Berserk Boy, it's mapped to the triggers. Now, this is something that the older games just can't match. Rosenkreuzstilette, 2007. I always twist my tongue trying to pronounce it. It is a bit of a cult classic. It's an indie doujin game from Japan with a cast of magical girls and a much higher difficulty ceiling. Anime bros, this one is for you. Spirithia Rosenberg plays exactly like classic Mega Man. She has a slide and a projectile attack, her Rose Spear. However, the game has a replay system with multiple playable characters that have different movement styles. In the 8 stages that we got to play, we defeated the Magi and taken their powers. It feels like the Mega Man 12 we never got, with more personality and creative gimmicks. You should play it ASAP. Mighty Gunvolt Burst 2017. After the mixed reception of Mighty No. 9, this D-Make style game was released and, surprise, it's actually fantastic. It's a crossover between Mighty No. 9 and Azure Striker Gunvolt presented in a retro 8-bit style. If you kill an enemy while standing right next to them, you get a burst kill that increases your score and drops better items. High risk, high reward. I was really addicted to this style of gameplay. The customization is the best thing here, and it stands out for me. You get a base element and then use customization points to change the bullet's shape, trajectory, speed, and element. We can literally build our own Mega Buster. No Mega Man game gives you this much control over how your character shoots. Metagal 2016. Metagal is a budget-friendly title that adds a few modern quality-of-life features. We get to play as Meta, a cyborg girl out to save her sisters. Jumping and shooting feel very comfortable. The big addition here is a gear that allows you to use a limited number of rebirths to restart from where you died, rather than a far-off checkpoint. It's the perfect entry-level Mega Man experience as it removes the most frustrating parts of the retro games, like losing all your progress on a game over. Mighty No. 9, 2016. I know, this game has a controversial reputation. But looking back at it years later, away from the Kickstarter hype, there is a very solid game here that does several things better than the series it was mimicking. We can damage enemies with shots and then dash through them to absorb their life. So you get the loop, right? Shoot, dash, shoot, dash. To put it in simple words, Mighty No. 9 feels more aggressive than a standard Mega Man title. The life form, or the Zell, that you absorb gives you temporary buffs to speed, power, or defense. As for the levels, they are creative but a bit uneven. The Radio Tower stage, for example, has great vertical platforming, and while the 3D graphics were criticized, the mechanical design of the bosses is quite sophisticated. As for Mega Man, enemies are often just obstacles to be avoided, and on the other hand, in Mighty No. 9, they are fuel for your next power-up. I hope this list gives you some great new games to try. Even though we all love the original Blue Bomber, these clones are, well, good enough for you to give it a try. What do you guys think? Which one looks the most fun to you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, hit that like and subscribe button. The best way to keep updated on all our latest gaming videos is through a subscription. I'm John from Marvelous Gamers, and I'll see you on our next video.